Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Commentary's Magic stream on today's Sunday, February 10th, 2019. I'm, as always, Grandpaws.
Big Cheese.
And the extremely caffeinated Aracat with severe apologies for pressing buttons so late, because, oh my god, I'm on so much caffeine right now.
So much caffeine?
You
At
have
least
no
you're
idea
not
how
on
much
what
caffeine.
Gabby's on.
No,
I mean-
but probably equal amounts.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of light roast coffee. I'm not in a good way right now. Like, so much caffeine.
That's okay. No worries, we're all here to have some fun and to talk about Store Champs! Yeah!
Really?
Store Championships.
I thought we were going to talk about Sequestria Block Popper.
I thought we were going to talk about shells.
I thought we were going to talk about stairs.
You got me there. Stairs are better than shells.
Can we put the shells on the stairs?
I see no reason why not.
Not hearing a no. Okay. In the interest of not sitting here and just yammering on about crazy things for a while, so store championships. We have a number of different stores from all over the world signed up, and I have actually sent out all of the kits to international destinations, so it's up to customs and international package carriers now.
Yay! Although, as long as you have better luck than I had with those.
Yeah, shipping things internationally is somewhat difficult, and I believe I've done my best to get these things to their final destination, but hopefully nothing too interesting will happen to them and they will arrive safely and on time. The domestic kits should go out very soon and should all be arriving before Friday, plus or minus the weather that's currently wrecking everything.
Sadly, we haven't yet gained control of that.
Something lazy Pegasi, something. Like, seriously, just get rid of those clouds, come on. Anyway.
Rarity needs our help. She's trying
She's
hard.
Trying hard, doing what she can.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. It's just Wendigos, too much hate. All right,
Could be the case.
fair enough.
So, thank you for the shipment update. I'm sure a lot of our players are glad to know about that. Tell us what the heck we're doing tonight, Aura.
Dude, I don't know. I think what we're doing today is trying to figure out what in the spices are we thinking. Now, before we actually get into what decks we're running, I'd like to take a moment to discuss why we're discussing this, to explain why we're discussing this, if you will. To state the obvious, the three of us are players just like all of you, and although this is probably a bit selfish, we'd like to play in store championships ourselves because our love of playing this game is a big part of why we're organizing events and doing everything that we can to let this game flourish and to let you guys have fun. I do hope that you'll not blame us for wanting to play the game we love as part of these events. Now, playing in these events we're organizing may seem like a conflict of interest. I tend to be very conscious of this, and I am worried. Perhaps you're worried that we're planning on unloading some secret combo deck and wrecking the meta, or just want to win all the promos ourselves. It's not. And this is part of the reason we're presenting our decks, to be transparent, to let other players know what we're thinking, and if necessary, because we're doing something tricky, give players a chance to adapt. This also may seem like boasting, that we're so confident in our decks that revealing them a week beforehand. We're not. We've been sitting here literally up to 3 minutes after the hour, agonizing on the fact that we have to pick a deck now instead of fretting over it for the next week or two. And I know this is positively driving Grandpa's insane because he can't continue to tinker with things.
Not outside of the minor flexibility we're giving us. Yep, that's right. I'm gonna Be sweating my decision till the last hour.
And we hope to be as transparent as possible about our intentions and goals here, and hope that you'll have as much fun playing in these events as we will.
Max in chat asks that he's assuming we all have core decks to show off tonight and no Harmony, and that is not actually correct. We're each going to be showing off the decks that we plan on running in our local events. Cheese and I are geographically located close to each other, so we'll be attending the same events, one for core and one for Harmony. Ara is located in an area that I believe has 2 different events, but they're both going to be core format. Is that correct?
I think that's what the forum said.
Okay.
Personally, I don't care, because I'm running the same deck for both, regardless of what format it is.
All right.
Wait, you only have one deck?
Yeah, but he's showing what he would be running.
I actually don't have that set up, but I think we've all already basically talked about that. I'll get to that in a minute, though.
That's fair. So let's add just a brief caveat here before we let Ara take it away with the first of the decks that we're looking at. And that is that we are committing to you, to all the players, that we are going to run a deck list that is within 3 cards difference of what we are presenting tonight. Those 3 cards are there for my sanity. And for Cheese's sanity.
It's not a real deck unless you change it 3 a.m. the night before the tournament.
Exactly. But with the exception of that little bit of wiggle room, each of us is going to be running a deck that is incredibly close to what we see being presented right now. And this is going to be less talking about what the deck or decks do, and more talking about why we're choosing to run it.
We have a question in chat. What do you mean by 3 cards?
3 card slots.
Like, remove 3 cards from the deck, go down to 42 cards, add 3 more cards, go back up to 45. Because nobody's running a 53 card deck.
About that.
Ara,
What?
how many cards are in your deck?
45.
At least 45?
Good answer. It's okay, Skitter. You're still the 53 hero.
No, I'm bringing a 60 card Magic deck and running 4 copies of Platinum Angel.
I think you'll win.
Pretty sure I will. Now, one other thing that I want to go and do here before we actually get into these decks, let's talk about the promos.
Oh yeah, that's something that we haven't publicly mentioned yet. We should probably talk about that, huh?
Yeah, seems like a good idea. So as it turns out, we have promos. And soon you'll have promos. And so here's what one of them looks like.
Looks like a card.
Looks like a card. As with usual, Store Championships will involve a promo that is a rare, and that would be Spike Fight and Flight here.
I like it.
Looks a little bit different than the other one. Because he's totally showing that rock, what's up. The other promo is Fluttershy Acceptable Business Attire, and she's not just a savvy business pony, she's also a savvy hipster. Although I will note that I believe the flavor text on the printed card is actually different than this, so look forward to finding out what that says. Also, isn't this a great face?
That is the best face. Well, second best face.
We'll have to save the best face for sometime in the future, I think.
I agree. I'm excited to get my hands on both of those cards. I know exactly where Spike goes, and I am going to be very glad to have some Fluttershy's as well.
The Werefrog asks, what's the best face? We'll have to wait and see.
Navy Tiger says Applejack's eyebrow. I agree.
Applejack, Princess of Eyebrows.
Complete with yodeling.
Yodeling. Nice. Good reference. Alright, that out of the way, let's get into the decks that we're actually messing around with.
Who's going first? Rochambeau.
I stick Ara under the bus for that.
But I
Sure.
don't want to be under the bus.
Well, I'm going to kick you down there too, so.
Well, so mean. Alright. So initially, I thought I was going to play a deck that I wish I was a terrible enough person to run, which is a pink-orange variant of Silverstream Burns the World, which I've kind of taken to call on Sisyphean Stairs. Because your aggro deck against Silverstream is just going to have to push that rock up those stairs forever and ever and ever.
I think we ran a count on the total amount of eccentric that was in that deck and came up with 38.
And a
Yeah, that's painful.
And a disturbing quantity of that does fun things at immediate speed. Anyway,
Yes.
I'm not a terrible enough person to run that, so what I'm actually going to run is Mono Fluttershy.
Mono Fluttershy or mono yellow?
Well, okay.
There's-
To be perfectly fair, it is not technically mono yellow because
Shut up. It's
Because-
mono yellow.
Don't
you start this again.
Aloe
Is colorless?
is
It's
not colorless.
Aloe is colorless.
She's white. There, I said it.
Hush, Navy Tiger.
Aha. Anyway, so why am I running this?
I will mute you all.
I think he's mad. You mad, bro?
Nah, it's fine. Go ahead.
Just slightly mad.
Just slightly.
Anyway, I'm running this because this is a fairly simple, easy to play, fairly fast aggro deck that I'm familiar with. And I don't know if I've said this before, but I tend to value decks that I'm familiar with in competitive situations over decks that might be better on paper if you knew how to drive them 110%. But being able to drive a good deck at 50% doesn't, get you too far. If you can't, drive it at its full potential.
That's a fair point. It's better to stick with the familiar if you know you can produce consistent results, even if those results aren't necessarily peak.
Yes.
That's a great analogy, Max. A nice car is pretty useless if you don't know how to drive it.
Yeah. I don't have a CDL to drive the kind of crazy stuff that these two are about to present, but this is just a nice deck. It's not too mean. Just kind of fun, easy to play.
Not too mean. Only 2 Yonas. Not 3 Yonas, that's too mean.
Only 2 Yonas and only 3 unsatisfactory works. I mean, there are some sticks in there, but hey.
You gotta run the sticks.
You kind of gotta run the sticks with Fluttershy, because she really enjoys being at 6 power.
Yeah, she really does. And the great thing here is that problem deck is just so easy for you to confront. And you've got the option to deal with Silverstream because you've got Searching High and Low.
Yes. I've said it before, searching high and low is mandatory because Silverstream just wants to watch the world burn. I should know. And
sorry, go ahead.
And I will be running this in Core and Harmony if any of our events end up being Harmony format, because I just like this deck.
You had a pretty good result with it in Vancouver, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Is this the exact list you ran in Vancouver?
Probably is, yeah.
Okay.
If it's different, it's by like 1 card, if that.
So let's talk about any potential sideboard cards, not actual sideboard, but, last minute deck swaps
This is
that you
it.
may end up making.
I'm too lazy to change it. This is what I'm running.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Okay, 1 for 1 here
Pressure's on.
on all 45 cards. You know exactly what to counter. Skidder, I hope you're taking notes. But it sounds like you've got a couple fans. Are we ready to watch those fans evaporate?
No.
Well, not for you. But I don't think I'm going to have many people in my corner here. Anyone want to take a guess?
So, yeah, before Grandpa's gets to present his stuff.
Werefrog says BRB. Rayler says 4-color aggro.
I didn't. Hold on.
All
let
good,
me
all
me
good
count.
considerations.
Let me count.
It's not aggro.
Max says some god-awful combo.
I think I'm going to give this one to Max.
Okay. I hemmed and hawed and struggled for some time trying to figure out what list I wanted to play. At first, I tried practicing with unicorns, and it was really slow. And then I tried playing a blue-yellow farm deck, and you can ask Hithrock how well that went.
You were mad about that for days.
I was. I'm still kind of mad about it. And then I wanted to play Alicorn aggro. And then ultimately decided that while all those decks were fun, the thing that I had the most fun playing was Cloney Combo. And it's not necessarily because I think Cloney Combo is the strongest deck out of all of those, although that may be the case. I like playing Cloney Combo because it is one of the first combo decks that I've had a lot of experience with that is non-linear in its win condition. What I mean by that is you can use different combinations of cards to reach the same end result. And depending on how you choose to sequence your cards or which ones you have access to, you can play around or deal with a lot of disruption that your opponent might be throwing at you. Normally, the most efficient way for the deck to go off is to use Herd of Adoring Fans and a Dip in the Pool, and play Herd on one of your cheap friends, and play backup vocals to return Herd again, and then dip backup vocals and return Herd again, and just go off that way. But there are times where I've been able to go off without actually having a Fluttershy at first, because I've just had all 3 exact duplicates. Or I've had a Fluttershy, but I haven't had a Dip in the Pool, and so I've had to return it to hand with Singing Barrel, but I've had enough AT to do that. Or I'm comfortable stalling long enough despite the fact that I know my opponent has a handful of cards that can wreck me, and just play an EEA Council a couple turns later than I normally would. So every game is different. Every game is a puzzle, trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B with all the caltrops and road spikes in between. And I love that.
So what I'm hearing is that you're a horrible Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've never claimed to be anything else. We had a lot of discussions over how easy is it to completely shut off the deck's win condition, which is normally the mismains. And the answer is, it's really, really, really hard. Unless you can manage to banish.
Banish both.
That's it. That is the only way that you can shut the deck off from winning using mismain. Now, the deck still has to go infinite, of course. But even just with one mismain, no matter where she is, as long as she's not banished. The far more fun thing to do, of course, is to create a token copy of Octavia Harsh Judge, and then create infinite token copies of her, naming every card except exact duplicate. And return all of your opponent's friends and resource hand and mill them out with main, and, Horrible, terrible stuff. As more and more cards get printed, there are more and more ways to disrupt combo. We see this all the time, right? Belly flop didn't exist until a couple sets ago. Now even yellow has a way to answer this with unreasonable demands. Napcakes, magical misfire, jerkface, of course, is still a problem. All this immediate speed frighten. There are a ton of ways that you can interact with this deck, and I think that's what I like most about it right now, is it has a lot of ways you can attack it, but it also has a lot of ways it can crawl out of that pit. It's very resilient, it's very fast, and if you know the deck inside and out and you know what your options are, you can do a lot of puzzle solving, and I really, really like that. So that's why I'm running Cloney. I don't feel like we need more information on how it performs. I feel like if anything's going to be done with any of the cards in this deck, we'll do so after Store Championships when we see how stuff does globally. But it's just a fun deck. For me. The sideboard cards I'm considering here, I'm probably not going to change the list, but if I do, it would be like Brian or Betrayed to deal with really problematic opposing friends, or Cracking the Case to deal with mimics. Now,
so this looks like a core deck to me.
This is a core deck.
You gonna run this in Harmony?
Absolutely not. Now, we're going to have fun in Harmony. It may not be the most competitive list, but man, it's the most fun I've ever had playing in Harmony. We're going to run some Bouncy Castle.
Twilight's Bouncy Castle?
Twilight's Bouncy Castle. I'm going to put some friends into play. Some of them I'm going to keep around. Others I'm going to put back in my hand. I'm going to keep doing that. Again and again and again and again.
I see.
And there's a little reanimation in there too. Oh yeah. This is a fun list. And that's really all it is. It is a fantastic control deck. It did very well at Vancouver. I was very pleased with how it did. But I learned a little bit from there and realized that I definitely wanted to run 3 copies of backup vocals instead of the Element of Generosity, because it's that important to get Twilight flipped early. And then just use all the stupid, cheesy things to keep your friends around. Luna frightening stuff, Twilight banishing stuff until end of turn and then entering as a new card, using Interdimensional Portal. Oh, it's just fun.
Fun for you.
Fun for me. There's a theme with a lot of my decks. They're fun for me. I like control.
So, spoilers, Pack Disruption?
I mean, Disruption's nice. Pack Desert Road, I'll be very, very sad. The great thing with Paradox Pony decks is it's very easy with a few card changes to go from a very controlling list like this to a very aggressive list, assuming you can get Twilight flipped. So you can run cards like Critter Choir or Plushy Dash, or if you're fearing Fireworks combo, like Element of Honesty. Any of those cards. And they'll all come back to your hand, and it's great. So, again, probably not changing any cards here, but if I do, that'd be what I would consider. Now, both of these decks, I have had the privilege of having some experience playing them. At least once. Cheese, on the other hand,
is going full Mad Lad?
Yes.
Talk to us, sir.
So, I was driving home today, about an hour and a half ago. I'm like, I need a deck. So I built one. Finished up about, 45 minutes ago? Doesn't have a name yet. But I really wanted to run Unicorns. But Unicorns is slow. And for those that don't know, Unicorns is a purple-white deck that has a bunch of unicorns and uses Magic Instructor to and what's the other card called? Spectacle, to play its events infinitely, turn after turn. So it's not like a one-turn combo, but it has recursion.
It's an oppressive control deck.
Yes, and it wins after about 2 hours. So decided that was a bit slow, and then I was like, you know what's fun? Burb's fun. But Burb has not been doing too hot in even like the later Sequestria meta, but definitely so in Friends Forever. And so I took the two and kind of smushed them together. Lost the recursion of unicorns, most of it, but still have Mistveins. Still do Burb things. I think it's right now it has 8 bouncy tools.
Mm-hmm.
Down from the like 11 or whatever ridiculous number Burb has.
Yeah, it was 11.
Still got berry flops, but it's got this new tool. It's got Old Money. Old Money is kind of ridiculous. She looks at anything in play, basically, and says, go away. And not just go away permanently. You're not rehearsing that back. And also upped the AT generators. And so this is definitely not the aggro. Like, it can't swing aggro like Burb can. So, got a Seikeza, got blackmails, got bodyguards.
That's a nice inclusion.
Yeah. And this little school shutdown. This is the first time I've actually seen that I've actually run school shutdown. Or really found a place for it. And school shutdown does let this deck it helps it not run out of steam. Like, you're not gonna feel amazing playing it because your board's going away too. But there's a few things around that. You can set up some troublemakers face down before you play school shutdown. Or you can just have enough AT to play out some board after. Because you do keep your hand when you school shutdown.
I don't know. I saw good use of school shutdown in the Vancouver tournament.
Yeah. Just that I haven't used it. Where are we going with that?
So how confident are you that all of these cards are 100% correct?
0?
Because this deck is less than an hour old.
It's like, I mean, yeah, it's less than an hour old. Yeah. So some things here, like we're making changes up until like 10 minutes before the stream starts, I think. Is there's no rest in pieces. I would kind of like to have one. Old Money, like I have 6 resource removal, which is up a lot from what Burb had, but doesn't have the immediate speed unless you like portal Old Money. Doesn't have sticks. Might be something to put in. No bait and switches, but like, do you really need bait and switches when you have Twilight and Rarity exposed and school shutdown? Like, so if people, it's like, oh, you have 100 characters at that problem. Cool. Now you have nothing there. Where's some of the other potentials? Like, might change around some of the numbers in the cards that are already here. Might somehow find room for nap kicks. But I think this is pretty solid what the deck looks like.
It's better Burb.
It's different Burb.
That's true. We can't say it's better yet. Okay, so this is a core list. You running this in Harmony?
No.
Are you being a complete spike in Harmony?
Yes.
I believe he's being a complete spike, period. So you've got my Timmy, you're Johnny, and she's a spike.
I don't know if this is the deck to run to be spike and core. This is just kind of random. Well, it's
think
not
we-
random, but
I think we do know the deck to run to be Spike and Harmony, though.
yes. I'm running farm.
Gasp.
Startled
Yeah.
gasp. I'm shocked and appalled that you would do this thing.
It's so creative. It's so original.
It really is.
I see
It has
that
a
you
lot
have,
of troublemakers.
I see that you have included an element of honesty there.
Yeah. You need at least one.
I've put the fear. I've put the fear into him.
Yeah, if someone runs that deck. So here I might mess around with troublemakers. Might go up some more on the rescue parties. Because rescue parties are good.
Yeah, they are. They flip for a lot, and they're really good to get off of Pony of Shadows.
It's the best. Vancouver, every time Pony of Shadows, every single time it hit an element of honesty. I was so angry.
There's still one in there. It's going to hit it every time again.
I know. It's going to happen.
It's going to be like Lyra all over
It's gonna be
again
exactly
for you.
like Lyra.
Lyra, who has no
No
damn
text?
text.
Correct.
How much resource removal do I have? Do I only have 2?
No. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No?
Mm,
That's
2 plus, all but 1 removal.
that's a darn shame.
yeah. Really hope no one puts me in a box.
Go ahead and
Saying.
put you in a box and drop a Meadowbrooks
And,
mask and drop a Spooky Ruins and
I mean, that's all fine. Then he'll just Catajack.
And I still win face offs. It'll be amazing. What's the flip average? Like almost 5?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Whatever it is.
Lowest
It's,
I can flip is a 3.
yeah.
that's okay. You ain't gonna be flipping any cards because of that Spooky Ruins.
Yeah.
So burn yellow, I think is what we're saying.
Hey, it's almost like one of you is running yellow, maybe in Harmony.
Pretty sure R and I aren't playing the same tournaments.
That's true.
Yeah. No, Popcorn's great.
You don't want to run too many copies just because it is a low flip average,
Yeah.
and because aggro is a little less common.
In our meta, yeah.
California's meta is
Weird.
Pretty
Weird.
wonky.
we all have a fascination with control here.
It really is mostly control, other than well, I'm like, yeah, even Leo runs control sometimes.
Sometimes when he's not trying to play Cruise Director. Shout out to Cruise Director, who thinks we should run Rolling in the Mud from our last stream.
No. Please no.
I'm fine with this.
All right. Well, that is a glimpse here, at least, at what we are planning on running.
Is that what we actually named that thing?
Yeah, we actually named it Rolling in the Mud.
Oh my god.
It's full of filthy mud ponies.
Hey, be nice.
Oh, is that the deck we made last week or whatever?
Yes.
Oh yeah. No. Okay.
No? Not gonna run that?
No.
It was Earth Pony Tribal, Railer, since you asked.
It's not just Earth Pony Tribal, it runs Cruise Director as the main.
Oh yeah, that's the worst part.
I
Forgot
think you
about
mean the
that.
best part.
Sure. Sure, Leo. We'll go with that. Well, do we have any tips that we want to give our viewers here as we head into the week before the first store championships? Why are you linking the Rolling in the Mud deck?
Because he asked. And everyone needs to see the pure beauty that is this deck.
It's so bad.
I think
It
you
had-
mean the other thing.
It has Aloe. Aloe is colorless. Okay. Let's not keep people here too long, but I would like for each of us to give at least one tip or piece of helpful advice for people going into what may be their first store championship. Aura, I'm going to let you get the obvious one out of the way because I know it's your calling card
Great.
anyway.
Resource removal, at least at this point, by the way, is mandatory. Also,
Yeah,
45 card minimum and maximum. Skidder.
It's kind of like almost 5 now, isn't it?
It kind of seems that way. Like, resources are only becoming more and more prevalent, and it does actually seem to me like just 3 is not enough anymore. And, maybe you should up that and go with maybe 4, maybe 5. It does depend a little bit on your meta, of course, but I'm finding I'm wishing for more a lot.
Yeah. While we're discussing these tips, feel free to share in chat what you're going to be running for store championships if you happen to know, and if you feel like sharing. You obviously are under no obligation to do so. To kind of tack on to Aura's comment, I think the reason that running more than 3 resource removal right now is nice is a lot of resource removal we have can do other stuff too. It's not like you're just running special beam cannon. You know?
So you're gonna sit here and poke at Cheese's list running 2 resource removal.
Well, it's Harmony. He doesn't care.
It's AJ. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll say different when you got 6 boxes on you.
Play Cadre.
Yeah, let's see. How many am I running here? Oh, I didn't include any beavers. Oh well.
I think I'm running 4, 5, 6, 7? 7, technically. "11 resource removal," says Skitter.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Sounds good.
3 of which is immediate.
Navy Tiger says, "All you need is a deck of Buried Dreams." I agree.
I mean, that's fine with me. I'm perfectly okay if you want to run that, because I'm just gonna be like Judge.
In Harmony, it's... Oh, wait, no.
I don't think you can actually do that though.
No, probably not. I think the one tip I'd like to give for people is don't neglect your entry. I know it sucks to have to sit there and put in a card that you know half the time you're going to draw in the middle of the game and be like, why aren't you anything else? But all it takes is one game where your Trading Traditions is DFO'd away or your resource removal is banished, never to return, for you to wish that you included more than 3 or 4 copies of a card to get you into your secondary color.
You bet I'd call Judge on 45 Rainbow Shines. I'd be like, Judge, come over here and look at this. It's beautiful.
Alright, that's all. I just wanted to admire the Rainbow Shine deck. You can go away now, Judge. So that would be my tip. Don't neglect your entry. Put in 6 if you're greedy, 7 if you're kind of greedy, 8 if you want to play it safe, 9 if you really want to play it safe. That would be the best tip that I could give. Cheese?
What?
Do you have a tip or single piece of advice that you would give to people who are about to attend their first store champs?
Bring a playmat and extra sleeves.
Oh, actually, do you want to give the tip about how to sleeve your cards?
Yes, okay, so you're going to sleeve your cards. First, you need KMC Perfect Fits. Then you put them on with the opening on the top of the card.
Perfect size.
Sorry, Perfect Pies, whatever. Then you need
Dragon
Dragon
Shield
Shields.
Yes.
And you put them on with the opening on the bottom. This is the correct way to sleeve your cards. All other ways are wrong.
I will fight you about the dragon shields.
What do you like? What do you want to use instead?
The KMC Hydromats.
No.
They
Well,
split.
I heard they changed their formula.
They split.
Yeah, well, I still got a bunch of the old ones.
Yes, I have at some. Well, I don't know how many I have left, but I probably have around like 3,000 KMCs left. They split. So annoying. I've
Rayler
never
says
had a
any-
Dragon Shield split.
Rayler says anything but Ultra Pro. I'd like to add an extra caveat on there. Not just Dragon Shields, Dragon Shield mats.
Yes, don't use the original Dragon Shields. They're sticky. It's annoying.
The Werefrog asks if you can use the oversized staffs that you got from Continentals. You need to consult with the judge on that, and you need to be very careful about how you sleeve those cards. If you have not had the chance to meet us in person and have those cards trimmed down to their appropriate size, which many of you have not.
I think we've only been to Vancouver since
Correct.
we had the jig.
Then you need to be sure that you cannot tell where your staffs are in your deck with the deck being sleeved, and that no one else can either.
So practically speaking, you probably cannot fit one of those oversized staffs into a perfect size. Like, they will fit if you sit there and fight with them. But that
Just
tends to
quad
work.
sleeves everything and use the
my
whatever
God.
they're called on the outside.
Oh my god. Yeah. So the oversized cards is going to be...
Yeah, and all the... Sorry.
It's something that your local judge or TO may need to inspect and make a ruling on. Yeah, the problem with that slight bend is that slight bend is going to make that card different, and it's going to shuffle weird.
Right. It's not just a visual difference, it's a tactile one as well. Animoy
Yes.
says wrap all your cards in bubble wrap.
I like
Man,
this.
if you can find me some bubble wrap that is clear enough that I can read the card through it, I might do that.
Oh my god. The proxy, that is going to be up to your TO again. If you have the cards, but they are demonstrably warped, I believe that is up to your TO to decide whether or not that is acceptable.
Right. The difference here is we're not talking about a proxy for a card that you do not own. We're talking about you have a card that for some reason would be considered a marked card in your deck. And Werefrog to ask if that violates the rule for if you can proxy a warped or oversized card. Again, that is going to be entirely up to your TO.
Yes.
You're gonna need to talk with your judge.
Yes. To Raylershow's point, yes, you do need to own the actual card. You can't just proxy something. But in the case of the sticks, if they would make your deck marked, talk to your TO.
Okay. If you are the TO for the event, I would confirm with every single one of your players.
Yeah. So as a general rule, if you are playing in one of these events and you are a TO, make sure that everyone is aware of any exceptions that you might have like that. Say in advance of the event that, okay, if you have oversized sticks, you may proxy them by, for example, turning a card backward and keeping the real sticks, the oversized ones, off to the side.
The proper thing to do is to grab a copy of Berry Dreams and write in Sharpie on the back of it.
I believe you mean Lyra, who has no game text and thus would
That's-
be easier to errata.
That's fair.
Isn't that right, Cheese?
Yeah.
Let's see, I think I saw another question up here earlier.
Skitter wants to know if deck lists are mandatory.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is a Tier 2 event. We are asking that participating stores report their results afterwards, if they are capable of doing so.
Or delegate to the playgroup leader if necessary.
Right. Therefore, we do heavily suggest that TOs or judges provide blank deck lists for players if they need to, or, even better, to have players come with deck lists already filled out. There is a blank deck list that you can use, or you can simply print your deck list off of Ponyhead. And to kind of tack on to that, we would love, and I'm sure other players would as well, love to see how your events went. Not just in terms of which decks did well, but tell us how much fun you had. Take some photos of the event. Post them up on Reddit or on our Facebook, on Commentaries Magic's Facebook. Tweet them at us. Anything you can do to share this to increase visibility is great. We want to know that you guys are having a good time because that is what we're here to do, is to make sure that these events are available for you to play in so everyone can have fun.
And this doesn't just increase visibility for these events, it also increases visibility for your stores and your playgroups. Getting the word out there and attracting players is a big part of why you should run these events. Because more players equals better than.
Yep. Raylo asks if there's anything like challenge that you can use for your event. Yes, challenge. If you have no other software that you can end up using, I do suggest challenge. It has its flaws, but it's free.
It's terrible.
It's
And
hush,
I hate it.
shush.
And it can't handle buys, and it can't handle drops, and it can't handle repairing.
But it's free, and it
Yeah.
works.
Hey Cheese, what's the best camera?
Sometimes.
The one you got?
C920.
The one you got
No, okay, so the best camera
is the one you
is-
have. Hush.
is
The one you
a
have.
cell phone connected over USB to a laptop using the IP camera connected to a bash script.
Shush. Hithrock has a very interesting story about how he plays over webcam.
That's fair. Rayler says he was referring to how to show the result. Challenge is great to be able to see the names of the players who ended up placing a high, but it would be good if you can link the deck lists with those as well.
Yeah.
So the best thing I recommend is just make a Reddit post, or post in Discord or Facebook.
Make sure your players are okay with having whatever name they want posted. Like,
Correct.
let them know that you're going to be posting results.
Ni hao, Mechanical. Okay, anything else that we want to cover for Store Champs? Someone else play combo. Don't make me be the only one.
Nope. You're playing Johnny. Good luck.
You've got the list right there. I will sit there. I will teach you how to play the deck. We will go over all the tech and the nuances and the fun, and it'll be great. It's not gonna be like a lecture at all. Definitely not.
It's totally going to be like a lecture at all.
It probably will.
It's totally going to be like a lecture at all. I've seen you try to sit there and reason through all the mess that you're going to have to do.
It's wonderful. I love it.
No.
Mechanical asks if there's any upcoming tournaments. Yes, Store Championships are happening next weekend and the weekend after that all around the world. There are still locations that are going to be added here to the map. So we recommend that you check that out. I think I've got a link for it here somewhere. Yeah. Let's try that.
That's an edit link.
Now let's not do that link. Well, I don't think they'll have editing permissions.
I don't know. I think that's about all we've got to say. So we should, quit sitting here and yammering randomly.
Hemming and hawing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fair. This will then wrap up our discussion on the topic of store championships tonight. We would, of course, like to give a big shout out to our patrons on Patreon. Thank you so much for your regular support. And if you are not currently a patron and you enjoy anything that we do, please consider donating. Doing so enables us to continue making content like this and events like this. If you have comments or questions that you'd like to send our way, or if you're just interested in hearing about what we're working on for the future, like BabsCon, hey, there are many ways you can stay in contact. We have our Patreon, as mentioned previously, but you can also reach us through our Facebook, Twitter, and email. And patrons at or above the $5 per month level also get access to our Slack channel, where you can chat live with us any day, anytime. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning last night. I stayed up for several hours. None of you were online. I was lonely. Don't make me be lonely.
It's because I was awake dealing with the cardboard apocalypse that happened, trying to send all this stuff out. Like, boxes everywhere. It was bad. So much cardboard.
If you are looking to watch any of our previous videos, including tournament recordings, you can find them on our YouTube channel, which is linked in the sidebar, or will be here soon. And please make sure to subscribe so we can actually have a channel URL that makes some amount of sense. We get more subscribers every week, and we appreciate that. If you have alternate accounts, just log in there. That counts too. It's great.
That counts as vote stuffing, though, so don't do that.
Yeah.
With all that said, thank you to each and every one of our viewers, both here now and watching this recording later. We are, as always, Commentary is Magic. I am, as always, Grandpaws.
Big cheese.
And the slightly less caffeinated, but still pretty hyped up Arcat.
Have fun at Store Champs, everyone. We'll be back in a couple of weeks to cover what's happened so far.
Bye.
Bye-bye.